I really want to be a part of that.
For me, the word that kept coming to mind when I read the script and subsequently read Angie Thomas's book was authenticity. And you know, in the book and in the story, I saw people, I saw a community that I was familiar with. I saw men that I was familiar with, women I was familiar with, a family that I was familiar with. And so I realized, you know, upon reading it that this was a moment. You know, it's something really and truly to be a part of. And what I hadn't seen really up to that point was the family dynamic, where this black family is intact, is together, and they're together through love. And there's a sense of passion and a sense of purpose. And also, there is indeed a man present. And so, I had to commend Angie for, I said, you know, you're a black woman, and it was important that the story be told through this young black girl. But I said, I commend you for also having black men present, in your book, and then subsequently in the film. And I knew that that was just something I wanted to really be a part of.
Man, I just wanted to be in the movie with Regina, another one. Really, that was the sole reason I did this. No, seriously. I have to say, like, when I read the script, I hadn't read the book yet, but I loved the way it explored black family, as Russell was saying, because not only were they, like, the nucleus of their family was strong, but, like, they had children who were kind of part of another family, but they embraced them, and like, the uncle was present, and it just showed the way our families operate sometimes, and it wasn't just, it was something I had never seen in film or in television, and also with the story dealing with a young man being, you know, killed by the police. I felt this for us to move the conversation forward, it's important that we understand each side of things and show things, and like, the only way that we really can get to progress in things is to listen to. As much as we know we're going through the issues, we gotta understand how to part of moving forward is just understanding each perspective. And for me, playing the character that is a black police officer and not falling into that stereotype and really hearing what a black police officer feels being in this situation and being part of the force, it was important for me to participate in that, because I feel like those are the things that will help us to get beyond this situation that we see has been going on in America for so long.
All right, thank you. You know, you all raised a very important point, that this film is based on a critically acclaimed, best-selling book by a black woman, Angie Thomas, from Jackson, Mississippi, in the South. You know, Regina, I want to go to you because, and you know, we saw in the clips, you know, your role, you know, you play a very important character, the mother in this film, to play Star's mother. And this story in this film, it tells the story from the perspective of a young black girl, but we also see the power of black mothers. And it also, in this film, what we see is the diversity and the dynamic nature of the black woman, the role that the black woman plays. Could you just expound on just, you know, the role of the black women in the community? We know that we're the heart and the soul, the bedrock, everything and all things between. But playing that role, if you could just talk a bit about that.
Well, you know, Angie Thomas, as a black woman, what I loved was the perspective she told the story through. You know, what impact that has on our society, you know, not just the loss of a black man, but what that is to a black woman in that story, a black girl. Lisa was so great for me because I feel like everyone knows black women are strong. Everyone knows black women are powerful, we're smart, but you know what? We are capable of being in amazing relationships that are supportive and respectful of black men. I think that's been missing, you know, from our narrative for a long time, you know, that we're this or that, but, you know, Lisa never once lost her strength by allowing Maverick to be the man of the household. And to be able to have Star as a young girl experience, not just see, but live it, that they could argue, but the arguments never were to diminish one another. You know, we are equally strong and equally supportive. And I think it's so important to say we don't have to be one or the other. You know, and I want our men to know that, you know, y'all ain't gotta go white, honey. We can.
In your opening comments, you spoke of the importance of there being, you know, black men reflected in the family in this film, and Maverick and Lisa's relationship is strong. It's a nucleus, and Maverick represents so much of black fatherhood, but also a black father that is determined to instill in his kids, to one, protect his kids and children, to instill in his kids a legacy. So just even seeing the names of the characters, Star, all of the children, the meaning, Seven, all of the children in this film, could you just really speak a bit more, elaborate on, and really the power of this film as it relates to telling the dynamic nature of the black family, that not all black families, I think there are these stereotypes that every black family that the father is gone. That's not true. That's not true. We do know, and Common, I'm looking at you because of the prison industrial complex, that a lot of our brothers are not in our communities, but it's not the case everywhere. But in this film, it just really shows that in a dynamic way.
It does. What I really appreciate about the story, about the character of man, we're seeing a man who found himself. He lost his way, but he got back on the path. He got back on his journey. He sought redemption and he found it. You know, you talk about the prison industrial complex. This man went to prison for 3 years, served his time, and became whole again, I think. And so what he did is he brought that energy, he brought that information, he brought that consciousness, right? He brought it back home. And with the support of his wife, he was able to give and lift his family up. He was able to become a new man. And the reality of it is that I know these men. You know, they're family members, they are friends of mine. They are the men who have been to prison, who have come back, who have made good, you know, on their time. And what I looked to do, what I wanted to do was honor them, honor their presence. The reality of it is that we know that black men are present, that they are husbands, that they are fathers, that they are in their community, that they are leaders of their community. And it's not reflected, hasn't been reflected with a consistency, but we exist and they're there. And so I wanted, with Angie's work material, just to honor that, like to lift the brothers up. But again, as Regina said, we're walking in lockstep. You know, the biggest thing that Regina and I wanted to convey when we sat down and talked with each other as actors, we said, we want to make sure that we convey the love. That we convey the love between this husband and wife, between this man and this woman, that they are equally yoked. And I think, again, that is important. I can't speak to who Maverick is and what he represents without honoring what Lisa represents to him, because he did not do it alone. The beautiful thing was he was open to receive, right? And so many of us, we're here, we're there, we are open to receive. And so, you know, I wanted to
Don't make me start singing, Russell.
You know, so I wanted to make sure that that was there, and his heart was tenderized. You know what I mean? It was hard. No, but you know, it was hard. Well, I did that too. No, but his heart was tenderized. You know, he went in with a hardened heart, came out and found a tender side, and that was what enabled him to give and love his children, to raise them a certain way, and impassion them with a sense of purpose, with a sense of knowledge and wisdom and understanding.
Thank you. Carmen, I want to go to you because Thug Life